I'm going to show you how I do the reconciliation for intercompany jobs. So the goal of this process is to make sure that awarded jobs in one company have a corresponding intercompany job in the other. So if there is a awarded job in Zinn's Design, there needs to be a corresponding intercompany job for that customer in Zinn's Construction and vice versa. So the way we do this is we run a quick report and compare them kind of side by side to make sure that anybody that is awarded in one company has an awarded intercompany job in the other, and that helps us with intercompany billing with materials and labor. So the way that we do this is there's a report in each company that's memorized, so it's easy to get to, and I put them in Excel and line them up side by side. That's what's easiest for me. You can just print these reports out and compare them side by side with a ruler or something and see which ones either need changed in their status from awarded to completed or ones that need added to one company or the other. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run a report. Like I said, it's memorized. So up in these reports, go to memorized reports, reconciliation, and then reconciliation report for intercompany sync. And this is going to pull up a report of all customers in the design center that have an awarded status. So you can see these are all regular customer job setups that are awarded. And these down here are intercompany jobs. So this section here are Zinn's Construction awarded jobs and their corresponding intercompany job in Zinn's Design. So if it's awarded in one company, it must also exist in the other company as an awarded intercompany job. So what I do is I export these lists because it's easier for me to line things up. So I'm going to export. Like I said, you can print these out too and just line them up with a ruler and see which jobs need updated, added, or removed. But this is just what's easiest for me. And then I can save this report and refer back to it if I need to. So that was the Design Center's report. There's some information on here that you don't necessarily always need to show yourself when you're reconciling it. So I'm going to get rid of some of these extra columns of information that I don't exactly need. What I'm interested in is the job name, the rep, and the PM, because as we're updating these, we're going to want to make sure that the rep and PM in both companies are also filled in and match. So I'm going to then go to Zinn's Construction. I'm going to run the same report. It's also found in memorized and reconciliation reports and reconciliation report for intercompany sync. It pulls up the same type of information, awarded jobs, and their contact info and who the rep and PM is. If you're not sure if it's pulling the right thing because it doesn't say the job status, you can click in Customize Report and look at the filters, and you can see that it's looking at active jobs that have an awarded in progress job status. So I'm going to put this into Excel also. And then I will go in and I'll remove the information that I don't need again. Okay, so now I need to put these into one report so that I can compare them kind of side by side. So I'll show you how I do that. So I need to look at Zinn's Design and Zinn's Construction separately, but you're using the same reports. So in this report, I'm going to copy these columns and I'm going to paste them into a new sheet. Oops. Now I'm going to, so I can keep myself straight, I'm going to label this tab ZDSC. And I'm going to label this one ZCRI. So right now, if they're showing the same information, I'm going to start editing. So I'm going to keep this column as my Zinn's Design Center awarded jobs. And in the next step, I'm going to put the Zinn's Construction intercompany jobs next to it here and see what jobs might need added or what jobs might need changed in status. So I'm going to delete these intercompany jobs off of here because these are the construction intercompany jobs. I don't need to look at those in this case right here. And you will also want to remove any retail jobs from your list that show up because retail jobs do not get set up for intercompany because the billing should just be right out of the company they exist in and there's no labor involved, so there's no intercompany billing to go on. Now on Zinn's Construction side, I'm going to keep the intercompany jobs from that Design Center report because I'm going to put the the Zinn's Construction jobs right here and make sure that the Design Center has all the intercompany jobs it needs to correspond with Zinn's Construction. So sometimes you've got to filter some jobs out or delete some jobs. For instance, CCMH has a lot of sub jobs, but there's only going to be one main job and one intercompany job for them. So I'm going to remove this because these sub jobs are not going to have intercompany jobs to go with them. Everything just goes to this main header job. And then these are just extra jobs that show up because they're in awarded status for other purposes, but they're not going to have intercompany jobs here either. So that inventory, retail over the counter, and transfers, we can just delete those off of here too, get them out of our way. So when I'm looking at these reports first, I'll look and see what information I might be missing, and I highlight everything yellow that I'm missing so that I know to remember to go back and check. So these ones are missing reps. So the intercompany job probably won't have a rep listed in them either, but these intercompany jobs, they should have reps pretty quickly after being awarded. So some of these are missing, so I'll make sure to look at this Broderick job when I put the construction jobs next to it and see if it's got a PM assigned to it yet. So now I'm going to grab my Zinn's Construction jobs. I'm just going to copy these columns and I'm going to paste them right next to the information we already have in these reports. And then we'll delete information we don't need. So since we are trying to line up Zinn's Design awarded jobs with their intercompany jobs, I don't need to be looking at Zinn's Construction's awarded jobs in this tab. I just need to see Zinn's Design Center jobs and whether or not they have a corresponding intercompany job. Okay? On the Zinn's Construction tab, these are all the intercompany Zinn's Construction jobs that are sitting in the Design Center. So I'm going to match them to the Zinn's Construction jobs that are awarded. And I'm going to get rid of all of these intercompany ones because we're dealing with that in the other tab. And keep in mind that just because the number of jobs may line up and end up on the same row, you'll still want to go through and make sure that the jobs line up, because it could be that you just have the same number of jobs and maybe there's things that are missing from each column that need added. So let's see here. This is missing a rep and so are these. So I'm going to go down through here and I just click on the row and kind of highlight my way down as I verify that they have a job. So this first one is Warranty Riccione 2 in the Design Center as an awarded job. And I can see next to it from the report we pulled from construction, it does have an intercompany job set up in Zinn's Construction. So this would reconcile. There's nothing to do here. They both exist in both companies. The main job in Zinn's Design and the intercompany job in Zinn's Construction. So we'll go back down here. Adams W exists in the Design Center and in intercompany in Zinn's Construction. Same with McClelland, Sen, Abels, Wasilashyn, Midovich. Let's see if we can find one that doesn't line up. These might line up pretty well so far because it doesn't look like a lot of activity took place yesterday as far as awarding jobs. So Campbell, Nolan, okay, so it looks like all of the Zinn's Design Center awarded jobs also all have their corresponding awarded intercompany job in Zinn's Construction, which is good. And then we'll also go back to this highlighted stuff and see if there's anything we can update. This awarded job for Midovich in the Design Center does not have a PM assigned still, so we can't update the intercompany with the PM because we don't know who it is yet. Same with these ones. It looks like they also do not have a PM set up in QuickBooks to know who to assign it to in the intercompany side. So those are going to stay yellow because I was not able to resolve them. If I'm able to resolve something, I change that color to green so that I know I took care of it. Now, these are Zinn's Construction awarded jobs. And this is from the report from Zinn's Design of all the intercompany jobs, and we're going to make sure they line up. Daughtry, CCMH, Shepherd, Broderick, Costal, Behanish, Hilltop, Leshinsky. Looks like a lot of these are lining up pretty well. So all of those line up. Now, this intercompany job, when it got set up and awarded, we didn't have a project manager assigned to enter in here, but it looks like now there is a project manager assigned. Looks like it's Steve. So I'm going to go into QuickBooks into this intercompany job, and I'm going to update the PM to be Steve, and then that'll resolve that issue. So I'm going to go into Zinn's Design Center into the intercompany job section for Broderick and enter him in. So let's go to the Design Center. That job number had 0012 in the middle. Just make sure it shows up as Broderick, and it does. I'm going to open this up and go into the additional info tab. And for the PM, I'm going to put in Steve's initials. So that updates and reconciles the PM being missing. So I'll turn that green so that I know there was an issue, but I resolved it. It doesn't look like anything else needs done on these at this point, so I may have to do an update video for you for when jobs do need to be added to this list with new awarded jobs, or they need to come off this list and be marked complete. So when a job in the Design Center, say Wasilashyn, it's awarded right now, but if it goes completed, this intercompany job over here would also need to be marked completed so that it falls off the list. I'm going to save this. I save every report that I do like this so that I can go back. So I have a folder here called IC Recs or Intercompany Reconciliations. And I just save it as the date I did it so that if I need to go back and look at it, I know which date I did, and I can see what changes needed made or which ones I was able to make, and go from there if there's any questions. Now, these instructions are written out, and I can send them to you. They do go in the correct order. It doesn't include the instructions on how to export it into Excel and do it that way. This is more towards printing the report and going back and forth. It's just whatever works best for you. I find it easier to do in an Excel because I can sort more quickly, line things up more easily, and save the report somewhere that isn't taking up a bunch of space with paperwork. So you can do it as the printout steps if that's more comfortable for you, and as you get more comfortable, if you want to go into using Excel, then I would suggest you do that. And if you need help on trying to figure out and making sure that you're doing it right, then I can help you with that. But in the meantime, you can follow these instructions completely and print them out. In these instructions that we didn't get to do in this video was when a new awarded customer shows up in one of the companies and an intercompany job needs set up in the other company. These are the steps for when a project goes awarded and it needs an intercompany job added to the other company. So you'll follow these in setting up a new customer. When you're setting up a new customer for intercompany, the easiest way to find that job I've found is to just search for Inter. It'll bring you to the section of the customer list that is intercompany jobs. And there are several header jobs. So you want to make sure that you put your new job setup under the correct header job. You'll see that BEHC has one, ERZ has one, and ZCRI has one. All of these jobs under here are a sub-job of this main intercompany account, ZCRI. To add a job, while you're on this header account highlighted, you will right-click and click on Add Job. Make sure that you're in that header job before you click on Add Job. Otherwise, it won't add it in the right sequence, and it causes some issues in lining things up and can cause problems when invoicing and payments occur. So when you click on Add Job, you'll see that there's a job name up here, like normal, but there's also this customer intercompany account, ZCRI. So that if you don't see a place to enter the job number and also see that it's coming underneath this intercompany ZCRI, then you've not selected it correctly, and you can just cancel and try it again. You just do copy and pasting. So you'll go into the construction company, you'll grab a customer name, copy, and you'll just paste it up here. And you can copy and paste the rest of the information for this customer, name, phone numbers, addresses. You can then paste in this customer's job number behind the Zins Construction's address. Now this address for ship to is going to be the customer's address. So you would just go back to the customer, look at their ship to address, just copy it, hit this plus sign to add the address in, paste it, Salem, Ohio 44460. And then you'll click on OK, and that'll add that. And you would have the phone number and email copied over from here too. And then in the additional info tab, you're going to make sure that you match what is in Zinn's construction. So that would have been, for this job, Bruce and Bob as the PM. So we'll go back here. Bruce is already in here as the rep. We'll choose Bob as the PM. And then you'll mark this as awarded. This job type up here will stay as this 13-in-house account. Okay, so once you have all the customer information added and marked them awarded, you would hit OK, and that would add a job under here, under that main intercompany account -CCRI header job. And that's where all these are sitting here. So let me know if you have questions when you go through this. I'll try to maybe do another video when there's more to be changing and adding. This just happened to be a really clean reconciliation and nothing much really needed updated.